Retro Road Trip.
Riverside, California, now living in Salinas, California, flying down in that custom-built, bright red, one-of-a-kind biplane, which we call the Oracle Challenger. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you none other than Mr. Sean D. Tucker. I invite you to stand by because you are about to experience 13 minutes of the most hardcore, down and dirty, hard-charging power aerobatics known to man. As Sean slowly rolls his way over the top, once established on the 45-degree downline, the high-energy inside diving snap rolls. Bringing it low to the ground, airspeed winding up, looking for 210 miles an hour before pitching now into the vertical to begin the spiraling tower. This is 2.5 outside snap rolls on the way up, pushing over the top to 2.5 outside snap rolls on the way down. But watch closely as Sean chooses to remain inverted as he pushes hard off the backside of that maneuver. The quick half roll to upright now begins the Huey Loop. This is an inside-outside loop with a tumble at the top. The first half is inside or positive G's. The second half outside or negative G's. At the bottom of that maneuver, more than 6 negative G's trying to throw Sean out of the cockpit. Hanging now by the strap, Sean lets the nose fall through the horizon, accelerating back to show center. Making their way across show center now, put your hands together for Scott and Linda Hammock in the Air Force Reserve jet car. After the shoulder roll, the nose pointed skyward, 0 forward airspeed, hard full left rudder, Sean's original double hammerhead. A quarter roll with a pull back to level flight. Once again, takes Sean down behind the Thunderbirds. A full slow roll and another pull as Sean now does the maneuver which he calls the flip top. Stopping momentarily in level flight, point rolls across the aerobatic box to end inverted as Sean now begins the outside 8-sided loop. This style of flying that you see Sean performing is very athletic and very hard on the body. Throughout the course of one performance, Sean will see in excess of 7.5 negative G's and 12.5 positive G's. So right now, Sean's going to take a very short break. Time for some altitude, catch his breath, tighten up his seatbelts, and let those engine temperatures cool down. So now, let's go live to the cockpit. Sean D. Tucker, are you there?
You got it, Brian.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think so far of Sean D. Tucker and the Oracle Challenger? 210 miles an hour, pitching the nose up, inverted right rudder, right forward stick. It's called the centrifuge. Stopping now, unrolling in the opposite direction, converting excess altitude back into airspeed. At air show left to show you again his original double hammerhead. Stopping 1,600 feet above the ground, 0 forward airspeed. Left rudder goes to the floor as he brings it around twice, and then returning back to air show center. At this time, I'd like to suggest that you get on your feet, get your cameras ready, and get as close to the fence as you can. If I could direct your attention to the runway in front of you, you will see there are 3 sets of poles out there. Suspended between each set of poles is a ribbon 20 feet above the ground. In just a short moment, I will describe what's coming up with those. But first, now in the torque roll, a maneuver that no one else in the world today does better than Sean. 0 forward airspeed, shifting it to reverse. Sean brings this aircraft screaming towards the ground, tail first at over 100 miles an hour. Once through his critical altitude, the throttle slammed back as the nose fell down. As Sean is going to dive on down and fly underneath all three of those ribbons, making sure that that line is obstruction-free. In order to get underneath any one of those three ribbons, he needs to be approximately 5 feet above the ground at over 210 miles an hour. Diving in on ribbon number 1. A hard pull brings it around into the triple avalanche, an inside loop with 3 snap rolls at the top. Right now, looking out through the top of the canopy, trying to find ribbon number 2. Once in sight, Sean continues around the corner, dives underneath ribbon number 2, while remaining low to the ground, passing underneath that third and final ribbon, and now finally pitching skyward for the alley-oop. This is the world's smallest inside loop. After turning out towards air show left, Sean is going to once again dive in on those 3 ribbons and attempt to slice all 3 of them in one single pass in 3 separate flight attitudes. Right knife edge, left knife edge, and finally inverted. While in knife edge flight, going through ribbons number 1 and 2, Sean's wingtip will be barely 8 feet above the ground. And now diving in from the left, over 200 miles an hour, stopping at approximately 15 feet in the air, rolling to right knife edge flight through ribbon number 1, left knife edge flight through ribbon number 2, and finally inverted to take out that third and final ribbon. A maneuver invented and performed only by Sean D. Tucker. It's called the triple ribbon cut. This aircraft that you see Sean flying is known as the Oracle Challenger. It was custom built specifically for Sean by our team over a period of 16 months. It weighs in at 1,170 pounds and is powered by 400 horsepower, making it the most high-performance aerobatic biplane in the world today. As Sean now pushes skyward in the end-over-end Holy Hawkmire, I'd like to suggest that once again you get your cameras ready for Sean's salute to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. This is Sean's low-altitude, low-speed photo pass. We're very proud to be sponsored in our North American tour in 2004 by Oracle. It's with their support this year that Sean is able to perform at more than 23 show sites across North America in front of more than 8 million air show fans. And now as the throttle comes forward and the nose comes skyward, Sean is going to roll his way back around to Air Show Center. If you'd ever like to look us up online, just type in www.teamoracle.com. Slowly down the shoreline one more time. Sean's going to momentarily return to level flight, and then a very low speed, high G pull to the vertical, which we call the whale tail. As I mentioned, Sean is from Riverside, California originally, so once he gets this aircraft back on the ground and taxis in front of the crowd, make sure you give him a great big hometown wave. As Sean makes his way from left to right, this is the low-speed, inverted, high-alpha pass. And now as the nose falls through the horizon, Sean is going to set up at Air Show Center for the final maneuver of this afternoon sequence. It's called the Harrier Pass, named in honor of the United States Marine Corps AV-8B Harrier. Chapter. What Sean's going to do is bring this aircraft at Show Center to a ground speed of less than 25 miles an hour, essentially turning the Oracle Challenger into a helicopter. Center for his final Harrier pass. Once landed, we're going to get this aircraft ready to travel cross country, where it will fly for the next 2 days to get to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we'll be performing next weekend.
Take a picture? Wait.
Ladies and gentlemen of March Air Reserve Base in Riverside, California. Put your hands together one final time, showing you why he is considered to be one of the best. That is John D. Tucker and the Oracle Challenger. Sean is the former winner of the United States National Advanced Aerobatic Championship Trophy. In addition, Sean is the first performer to ever win both the Bill Barber Award for Air Show Showmanship and the Art Show Memorial Showmanship Award in the same year. As Sean sets up for landing, I'd like to take this final opportunity to thank you on behalf of Team Oracle.
Get your t-shirt. And secondly, we have Josh Gumber. Josh Gumber, you have won a free session in the new Paris Skyventure wind tunnel. And last, we have Joe Gamuza. Joe Gamuza, you have won a free tandem skydive. Please report to the Paris Valley Skydiving Tent and claim your prize. Thank you.